concert was literally on fire. Such a good concert. I'm so excited to be home, just take a nap in my bed. You got to be kidding me! I just moved into this apartment, but here we go again. Is this what you wanted? Is this what you wanted, spiders? Are you happy? I hope you suffer in hell. Oh, sorry about that, guys. That was kind of awkward. I just want to apologize in advance if you kind of see me itching my neck and this area, my chest. It's because I actually just got back like 10 minutes ago from a plastic surgeon, and he did a beautiful job making my skin look amazing again. However, he said something like he couldn't remove the stuff below my eyes. It might cause some permanent blindness or death. I don't fear death. I'm Dabi. No, but anyways, guys, seriously, today we're kicking off a new series on the channel. It's going to be a series discussing all the individual characters in the Villain Vanguard. There's actually 10 of them. I started with Dabi not any particular reason. He's the leader. He's like obviously the coolest. Just kidding. So I decided to start with him. However, for the other 9, I'm going to do a random draw for them, but I'm going to do it kind of in a unique way. We're going to be doing that at the end of each video, so you guys should stick around and see how I'm going to decide how to do it. It could end with me actually losing an eye, so that will be exciting. Anyways, without any further introduction, let's get right into this. Today we're obviously talking about Dabi. We're going to be doing a character analysis. We're going to be talking about his personality, his quirk, all the scenes in the anime so far, and his overall kind of just use in the anime. So before we get off into like the scenes, let's talk about who he is as a person so we can better understand why he does what he does in the anime. So anyways, let's talk about his personality. His personality, he's kind of stoic, he's kind of removed, he doesn't get along with people. I'm not going to say bashful, but he doesn't talk if he doesn't have to. And as far as his ideology goes, he's a follower of Stain, he's a very devout follower of Stain, and he's willing to put aside his own, feelings to follow Stain's ideology. He doesn't like Tomoru as a person. We see this in a scene that we're going to talk about later, but he's like, okay, if I want to follow Stain's ideology to get rid of all the fake heroes, the best way for me to do this is probably group up with these people and take them down. Because he knows, as one person on his own with one quirk, he can't change the world. He doesn't think he can. He thinks the best way to take down all the false heroes in the world is join up the Villain Vanguard. So that's why he does it. He doesn't like that he has to. It's like the saying kind of, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, I guess, to a degree. But anyway, so that's why he joins up the Villain Vanguard, because he feels it's the best way to follow through Stain's ideology, and that's kind of his purpose so far. However, just because he's kind of reserved around the villains and is cool-headed, doesn't talk very much, it doesn't mean you don't ever see a more ecstatic part of his personality. Because when it comes to the heroes, Dabi views the heroes as kind of the villains. They're fake, they're ruining our society, they're the bad guys. I might be killing people, which isn't great, but I'm trying to fix our society, unlike the fake heroes. So when he actually has run with heroes, he's very sadistic-like. He takes pleasure in toying with them and hurting them, actually. And I don't think it comes from a place where he's just pure sadistic. Whoever he does that to, he gets pleasure from. I don't think Dabi would break into someone's house and enjoy watching a family burn alive and get off to that. No, I think he's only enjoying it because he's like, you guys are the reasons that's corrupting our society. You guys are the reason for maybe all the pain in my past. We don't know Dabi's past. It's actually a kind of a big secret. I'm going to talk about that later. But maybe the heroes did something that really hurt his past. A lot like Koda in the training arc, you know. His parents were pro-heroes and they got killed, so Koda kind of hated pro-heroes for a reason. So maybe Dabi kind of has a similar background. So that's about all for his personality and his ideology. He's someone that follows Stain's ideology. He wants to get rid of all the fake heroes in the world, but he's reserved, cool-headed, very smart, thinks about things. However, when it comes to heroes, he'll kind of let out his more sadistic and kind of manipulative side just because he views them as the villains, so he thinks it's fine to toy with them. So let's jump into his quirk, and he has one of the coolest quirks in all of My Hero Academia. Granted, it's like a fire-based quirk, and every anime has someone that can use his fire, but it's so cool because of the color. He's cooler than Todoroki. Oh yeah, Todoroki has fire and ice, but it's blue fire. Who cares about that? Freaking Dabi does blue fire. That is the coolest fire, besides maybe green fire, just because you never really get to see green fire a lot in TV shows. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. So basically what Dabi's quirk is, a lot of people call it cremation. We've never had an official name given to us, but actually on the wiki page, it literally says Cremation is not his actual quirk's name, but people called it that so much that people are just like, yeah, it's Cremation. So we'll call his quirk right now Cremation, but keep in mind, they might come out and announce in the anime officially that it's actually called something else. And his quirk is an emitter, so basically that means he can create something with his body or kind of change something around him. So, you know, Todoroki's an emitter, Uraki's an emitter. He doesn't change like his personal body, he just like excretes something or changes things around him. Hence the flames. And what he emits is blue flames that he's able to control. He can emit it anywhere from his body. So, you know, he can emit it from his toe, from his head, from his hands, from his arms, wherever. He can also like shoot giant flames of fire. We see a lot, like freaking Kamehameha waves of fire. What he can't do is like spawn fire. So if he's standing here and there's like a hero 10 feet over there, he can't just like combust them into flames without touching them. You know, he has to sort of touch them. But what he can do, because we see this in a scene in the training arc, he's like touching a tree and he ignites that tree on fire, but then everywhere around him starts igniting in fire. So maybe what he could do, if there's like a hero 10 feet over there and he's standing here, if he just like touched the ground would ignite in fire and like a trail would lead up to the hero and burn him alive. So he could do that, but he can't just ignite things on fire without having any contact with it. Another thing about his quirk is I mentioned how blue fire is really cool. It is hotter than red fire, but it is not the hottest color there is. Blue is the third hottest. It goes then purple, then black. And I believe blue was 286 degrees Fahrenheit and 161 degrees Celsius. I might be wrong with Celsius. I live in America, so can you blame me? So anyways, it is extremely hot. Also, what I am curious about, how does this quirk work? Because we know quirks in the My Hero Academia universe are evolution. They're not like magic. It's not like, oh, we don't have to explain this because it's magic. No, the human's bodies changed biologically to give them quirks. Like we know with Bakugo, he sweats nitroglycerin, that's a hard word, and then he's able to spark it and make an explosion. Like that's biology. However, actually I don't know if that's biology. I was really bad at science, so it's some type of science. But anyways, with Dabi though, I'm curious like how his quirk works on like a biological standpoint. Does he also sweat some type of chemical? But the reason his is blue and hotter because it's more flammable than nitroglycerin, unlike Bakugo. I don't know. That would be cool if they explained it. That would be really cool if he like sweats some kind of like radioactive material and he can make that explode. As far as applications go, I talked about he can create fire anywhere in his body, so it's kind of hard to attack him. He can shoot fire out for like a few like dozen feet. I'm not exactly sure on its limit, but it can go really far. Another thing that we've seen is use his quirk for is create walls of fire. It's a really great defense because it's kind of hard to go through something that's 260 degrees. If you try, you're more than welcome to, but you're going to end up a pile of ash on the ground. So yeah, those are all the ways we've seen Dabi use his quirk. So let's go ahead and jump into the scenes and all the times we've actually seen Dabi in the anime. The first scene we actually see Dabi in is when he meets Tomaru in the bar. He enters in with Toga, and they were recommended to like join Tomaru's cause. And Tomaru first is like, no, these are just brats with irreplaceable ideology, get them out of here, I don't care. And this is a scene where we see how Dabi puts aside his own feelings to follow Stain, because what Dabi says is like, there's no way that this guy's a true follower of Stain, I would never follow him, screw this, I'm out. But then Dabi kind of realizes, well, even if Tomaru isn't a follower of Stain, that doesn't mean I can't use his organization to complete my own goals. So it's like, you know what? I don't like this guy. I think he's a creep. I think what he's doing is dumb. But I'm going to put aside my own feelings. Therefore, I can help Stain complete his ideology. So we get a really cool scene where actually Toga, Dabi, and Tomaru all attack each other. And you have Kuragagi in the back, and he opens up his portals. And like Toga has a knife, and it like comes out one way. Dabi has his flames, and they spew out another way. And then obviously Tomaru has his hands that he can like turn people to ash with. And like Kuragagi opens like 6 different portals, and their hands are all everywhere, but like they didn't touch each other, so no one's dead. So I thought that was a really cool scene. So anyways, that was his first introduction, and we get a glimpse at like, this is a guy that is concrete, following Stain's ideology. He's willing to put aside his own feelings for that. So that's the first time we see him. Next time we see him, we see that he's been promoted to the leader of the villain vanguard, which is kind of cool, because like, you know, he's pretty young and everything, but he's obviously knows what he's doing, and is very strong, and is very smart. So the next time we see him is actually at the training arc. He's the leader, and we get to see him kind of only in 2 scenes. One, it's the scene he's setting fire to the forest, which kind of just cemented in that he can't just set fire to anywhere. He had to like touch one tree and have that ignite and spread out. But I mean, a fire in a forest goes pretty fast. It doesn't take a lot of time. And the only other time we see him in that arc is when his double that Twice makes goes and fights Vlad King and Aizawa. And that's a cool scene because granted, at the end of the day, he lost that fight. But it's his double, and I'm assuming Twice can't make like 100% just as strong copies as the original. If he did, that would be an OP thing. So maybe they're a little bit weaker per se, and maybe has a range thing. Like, oh, if you know you're like only 20 feet away from me, you're really strong, but my clones get like 1,000 feet away, they get weaker. Or maybe if I make 10 of the same person, they're weaker, but if I make just one clone of the person, it's almost the same strength. We don't know a lot about that quirk yet. Maybe we'll find out later. But anyways, so he makes a clone of Dabi, and Dabi goes and fights Vlad King and Aizawa, and he loses, but he puts up a pretty good fight. You know, Aizawa and Vlad King had to try. So it was a cool scene. Even a clone of Dabi was a decent threat against 2 pro heroes. And that's really all he does in that arc, and the next time we see him is actually is when all the pro heroes show up at the bar and apprehend everyone. And this, I think, is a really important part, because granted, Dabi doesn't do anything significant, but the reason why this is important is because, you know, all the pro heroes, they break in, and they get apprehended, and someone was, like, back-talking them. I think it was Tombaru. And then Gran Torino was like, shut up. We know who all of you are. The police have spent the last 24 hours digging your names up. We know each and every one of your history. And he goes through and like says all the villain vanguard's names, except Dabi. Why would they leave Dabi's name out? Because he is connected to someone we already know, or someone that we're going to find out, or his name just holds significance. I'm going to do a theory later on the whole mystery of Dabi, but basically, this is a big deal. Like, you know, in anime, there's always that one person that just seems like, oh, it's a little orphan child, and the orphan child is a child of, like, the frickin' king or the strongest man in the world. We're probably going to get something like that with Dabi. He was probably family to someone, and the pro heroes ruined his life somehow, and maybe that's how he got his scars, and he ended up an orphan, and then he ended up taking up Stain's ideology, and then joining the villain vanguard. But we don't know how all that happened yet, but I am 100% sure that we're going to find that out, and it's going to be a big deal. So after that, we don't really get much else. Dabi is knocked out by Gran Torino, I believe, and then All For One actually transports them all to the battlefield, where Deku and all of them are watching Bakugo, that battlefield. Dabi's still knocked out, but All For One buys them time. He's like, hey, Tomuru, take all your friends, get out of here. I have faith in you. You're going to be the next generation of villains. And then they just pick up Dabi and they leave with him. He's still knocked out, but he gets out safe. He's not like in jail or anything. And that's where we end up with Dabi in the anime. There is one more big scene that happened in the manga, but I'm not going to talk about the manga. I'm not going to spoil anything. But as far as that, that's all the major scenes for Dabi. Anyways, Dabi is one of my favorite characters. We're going to do a badass scale for all the villain vanguards. And he ranks at 8.9. I believe he is second, maybe third. I still haven't fully decided, but anyways, as far as Dabi goes, he has the epic scars, he has blue flames, he's a cool reserve guy. Obviously, he's high on the badass scale. Anyways, that's all for Dabi. Thanks for watching, guys. Before we leave, though, we're going to choose the next person I'm going to do in this series. So, let's get right to it. Hey, guys. Okay, so to pick the next person I'm going to talk about in the Villain Vanguard series, what we're going to do is take this very sharp object and throw it at that board over there. And I actually have playing cards 2 through 9. Obviously, Dabi was number 1, so he's out. And I'm going to throw it. And whichever card I hit, it corresponds to the wiki. Like, on the wiki, they're listed. Dabi was 1. This person's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Understand. So I'm going to throw it. Let's say I hit 8, and let's say 8 is Mr. Compress. Therefore, next time we're talking about Mr. Compress. I will warn you, I'm really bad at darts. I've only played like twice in my life. So, here we go. Okay, aim for the bullseye. Oh! I hit number 8. However, number 8 is not Mr. Compress. It's actually twice. So next time, we will be talking about the anime version of Deadpool. Anyways, you guys have a fantastic day. This will be 2D Life, Nathaniel, signing out.